गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुसाक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। हरिः ओम्। श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ओम्। My humble pranams to all Atma Jyotis, divine light of the sun. I welcome all of you today's session of Yoga Vashishta. I am conducting these sessions study hour on Yoga Vashishta as a means of my personal study so that I can learn. I am not a guru, I am not a pandita, I am not a jnani. I am just reading from a book, and this book is in Telugu, published by Ramakrishna Math, and I am talking in English. What I think is what the book is saying. If there are any mistakes in what I say, the mistakes are mine. There are no mistakes in the original one. So, we are in Mumukshu Vyavahara Prakarana, 15th chapter. Sage Vashishta is talking to Rama, and he is saying, by studying scriptures and doing enquiry, one will get benefit, great benefit. What is a scripture? What do you call as a scripture? So, the sages and the rishis have known that what you see in the world is not the ultimate truth. It does not give you ultimate happiness. What gives happiness is inquiring into the true nature and finding out one's true nature and getting established in the Atma Jnana. That alone can help a person to become peaceful and blissful. And one should put an effort in uncovering the truth. This is the vision of the rishis. And rishis have compassion on the people. So, they taught so many different ways, so many techniques, so many methodologies to teach this truth. Those things are called as scriptures. So one gets an opportunity as a human being, one should take the help of such scriptures, and one should do enquiry, self-enquiry, and do a discrimination of what is truth and what is false, what is permanent and what is temporary. One should understand. There are some people who are victorious over the suffering of the world. How did they become victorious? How did they become blissful? How did they become happy? One should know the means of this, which is Atma Jnana. Atma Jnana gives them the required protection from the vagaries of the world and life. Many great sages, many great people, jnanis, have roamed on this earth with complete freedom because of Atma Jnana. Among men, you see people who are totally bound by attachment, and you see people who are totally free from attachment. And because of moha, attachment, one becomes bounded, and lack of attachment, one becomes free. How does one get rid of attachment, moha? It is only through the dawn of the wisdom, jnanodaya, of the Atma Jnana, that can remove the moha, attachment. O people, take recourse to Atma Jnana and get rid of the attachment. Then you will see that the world is a wonderful play. It's a beautiful play. You will enjoy the world like a leela, like a play. Then one becomes peaceful and equanimous. And such a mind is called is full of Brahma Rasa. O Rama, for a wise man, the world looks like a playground. Therefore, you also become a jnani. This body is like a chariot. The sense organs are the wheels. And the five prana, pancha prana, are the five horses that pull this chariot. Mind is the reins. This is how elders have described a human being. And this chariot, the goal, aim of this chariot is happiness. And Jiva is the passenger in this Deha Ratha. Deha Ratha, body chariot, body chariot. Such a Jiva should purify the mind and look at the world as a playground rather than as a field of suffering. This is the goal of my teaching. With this, chapter number 15 ends. We are going to talk about chapter number 16. Chapter number 16, sage Vashishta says, O Rama, on this earth, there are wise people and there are foolish people. I'll tell about them. Whatever we are going to study now, which is called Akhanda Ramayana, which is Yoga Vashishta, Whatever this scripture is going to teach, there are some wise people who follow the teaching and they attain self-realization and they roam on the earth completely with freedom. They may be householders, they may be monks, they may be in any station of life, but internally they are free and internally they are not crying for anything. And if something happens, they are not saying this particular thing has to happen so that I can be happy. And they are not saying this particular thing should not happen, then I will be happy. They are happy anyways. Whichever way the life turns out, they are always happy. Whether good or bad, good events happen, bad events happen, they are not bothered. They don't crave for anything. They don't reject anything. And they don't do anything against scriptures. And they always follow what is prescribed by the scriptures. And they follow pure, holy things. Whatever they do, it is for the good of the humanity, for the benefit of the people. And they try to benefit maximum number of people. And at all times, they tread the righteous path. And we see some people, they desire something to happen. And they are afraid that something different may happen. Both these kinds of problems, thinking process, the jnanis do not have. They are not anxious for anything. Depending on the situation, whatever the situation demands, what is appropriate behavior, what is the right appropriate behavior, they will exhibit. Internally, they are always immersed in the self. And from their viewpoint, they are non-doers. The body and mind continues to do action, but they do not have any desire, selfish desire. Therefore, their actions are for the benefit of the people. Therefore, what they are considered as non-doers. Their birth and death are also not propelled by desires. They are selfless, desireless people. They get rid of all the craving and doership. They always have pleasant mindset. Their mind is full of peace and happiness. Those who know the reality of the self, of the Atma, They are not attracted by the external world. Neither they are repelled by the world. And they will not follow the vasanas, the latent impressions. They are always immersed in the bliss of self. And this type of Jivan Mukti is possible only by the Atma Darshana. There is no other means for attaining bliss. Therefore, every human being should do self-enquiry, and entire life they should do Atmanveshana, search, seek the self, the Atma. And one should meditate on Atma. Whatever they do in the world, the secular and religious actions, they should do for attaining Atma Jnana, self-knowledge, not for any selfish desires. Practice only, sadhana only will get you Atma Jnana. One should take refuge in scriptures, good scriptures, and one should do prescribed duties of the scriptures. One should approach Sadgurus, Gurus, wise people, and one should understand what they are saying. Those who put effort, they will definitely get Atma Jnana. But, oh people, if you find faults with the scriptures, find faults with the Gurus and Mahatmas, and due to ignorance and foolishness, you will attract many difficulties, many sufferings. The ignorance causes suffering. And great diseases or dangers also do not make you suffer so much as your own ego makes you suffer. Therefore, whatever ignorance you have, inquire and get rid of ignorance. For some people, proper study of the scripture will remove the ignorance. And this scripture can definitely help those people. And for those people who have decided that self-realization, self-enquiry, Atma Jnana is my goal, such people will find the scripture very conducive for their spiritual growth. In the Shrutis, which are Vedas and Upanishads, there are so many things are taught. In the Smritis, which are Puranas and Itihasas, some more things are taught. The same things are taught in the scripture with lot of stories, examples. Therefore, the seekers of liberation should study the scripture carefully and let them decide about the value of this scripture. The jiva undergoes a lot of suffering. Where is this suffering coming from? This suffering is coming from the jiva's own foolishness. If you spend your life like a fool, it is better to live the life of a beggar or in some tree, live like a insect. That is a better life instead of living with foolishness and ignorance. The craving will not be there. Trishna, the craving will not be there if there is proper jnana, viveka. As long as there is craving, suffering will not go away. O people, arise, awake, follow the Shastra Vichara, inquiry as per the scripture. Determine that, be confident and determining that you will follow the Atma Vichara and get rid of the bondage of life. The sages are compassionate, they are well-wishers. They taught these things in the scriptures. Listen to them, understand them. Through many examples, they taught this. And with many examples, I am going to show you the truth. And those who understand this teaching, they will also become completely free of the bondage and suffering. In this samsara, dukkha comes one after the other. There is no end to the suffering. In between suffering, there is a little bit of happiness. Therefore, O Rama, don't get attracted to the world, into the samsara and the pleasures offered by the world. A wise person will try for a state which is free of suffering, which is your own true self. That is the moksha pada, liberation, enlightenment. Such a person will get rid of desire and anger from their mind. In my opinion, a person who is attracted to the worldly pleasure is like a blind frog in a well. Only an ignorant person will think that the sensory pleasures are very valuable and great. And such a ignorant person will run after sensory pleasures. As a result, he or she undergoes many sufferings, dangers, attachments. Every second, he will be troubled by them. All these are deceptive. Sensory pleasures are deceptive. They appear like friends, but they are enemies. Those who are attracted to the sense pleasures, they get caught in the moha, great darkness. And they undergo many fears, many healths, suffering, unhappiness, difficulties they face because of their craving. These happiness and sorrow that comes and goes cannot be a permanent happiness. They are not the final liberation. Those who are attached to the worldly pleasure, they cannot get viveka, right discrimination. Oh Jiva, why are you afraid? I am a little being, I am a limited being. This limitedness, leave off and take refuge in the right knowledge. Know your true nature. This scripture, Yoga Vashishta, is like a mirror that will show you your true nature. Learn that. And with dispassion, vairagya, you will be able to cross this samsara, ocean of samsara, very easily. However, a person who does not put effort, he cannot be saved by Trimurtis also. Even the Holy Trinity cannot save a person who does not put effort. Those who have wisdom, those who are clever, intelligent, they will not be lazy. They will not stop the effort. Spending time on the sensory pleasures without spending time on liberation and moksha is a waste of time. Such a person is like sleeping on a dry grass in a house made of wood which is burning in a fire. Anytime the person may get burned. Only jnana, wisdom only can save you. You may say, where is this Brahman? I cannot see Brahman. Where is this Brahman? Let there be Brahman or let there not be Brahman. Let there be God, let there not be a God. But what is wrong in inquiring about who you are, your own nature? Why are we lazy and afraid to find out our real nature? Let people understand that knowing Swaswarupa, self-realization and self-enquiry, inquiry about the truth of oneself and the world is the only means of escaping from the samsara sagara. let people understand this truth. This is the purpose of our teaching. Oh people, there is something called liberation. There is something called enlightenment. There is something called moksha. That is the self same nature, Swaswarupa of you, me, and everyone. We are telling this truth with all our experience. May you all be practitioners, seekers of moksha. The reason why I am teaching this Yoga Vashishta is the purpose is to make you work towards your self-realization. Those who take refuge in Sadguru's feet, in God's feet, in the truth, at the feet of truth, they will definitely attain Atma Jnana. Those who know about the Atma, only they can be peaceful. Others cannot be peaceful. In all the three worlds, Atma Jnana Moksha is the only state which can give you peace. The pleasures of the world, pleasures of the heaven are, when compared to the bliss of the self, there is no comparison. Bliss of the self is like a sun, and the pleasures of the world and pleasures of the heaven are, when compared to the sun, are like a candlelight. If you decide that I want to know the secret self-realization, I want to know the way, then the moment you get the desire, all the obstructions to get liberation will fall away. The moment a person decides that I want to be liberated, it is he or she is surely, definitely going to become enlightened in no time. With this, chapter number 16 comes to an end. Hari Om Tat Sat, Sri Krishnarpanamastu.